Hi guys, so let's jump right in with shirt number 1, which is hand lettering. And I found this plain quote and I was playing around with hand lettering and I sketched it out. Then I sketched it onto a bigger sheet, which is the size that I wanted on the shirt, put it on the inside of the shirt and clamped it down, then sketched it with pencil. So then I'm going to just fill in the parts I sketched with watered down screen printing ink. And I'm just being kind of rough here, just trying to get the black areas black. When I was sketching the version that was on the pink clipboard, I actually messed up the S, and so I was really eager to get the black areas filled in the correct color because I was scared that it was going to happen on my actual shirt. So I'm just trying to fill in where it's supposed to be black so I don't get confused. Now I am just doing the outline of the banner, and I'm starting to clean up the edges. Now I didn't film all of this, I did most of it like an hour here and there, and so I'm skipping forward to the end of painting Excites, and I changed my mind on my sketch. It was kind of a bubbly design on the letter, and I decided that lightning bolts or lightning kind of made sense more for the word Excites. So I'm just painting on lightning bolts, and I also decided to make it a little more 3D by adding a shadow going from the right and down. Now for this you want to use just the edge of your paintbrush and just very lightly shade it, because if you go too heavy-handed then watered down paint will bleed, and that's cool if that's the look you're going for, but if you're going for a crisper light line like I am, then you want to be careful. And I also decided that I wanted to darken up the banner. You'll see in a second I shade it. And here I'm just sketching in the Rumi, which is the person who said this quote. And I actually ended up making some swirliness coming off of the eye because the next day I was trying to smooth out the S and I dropped my paintbrush and made a little black mark, which I was too lazy to try and remove. I don't know if I could have or would have just bled, but... So here I'm sketching with my favorite mechanical pencil the design that I want on either side of that, which is kind of two little diamondy designs, like diamond shapes, then some leaves, and then dots. I actually ended up adding another dot the next day, so it's 4 on each side. And I'm just very carefully tracing it, and then I go back and make it darker in a second. Now I'm just touching up Excites a little bit more and shading in the banner so that it looks a little bit more 3D. And you want to iron it 3 to 4 minutes on each side with an iron on medium setting. And that is it. Here's the finished shirt. Okay, here's shirt number 2, the Dreamcatcher shirt. Now I'm putting a piece of cardboard in there to protect the other side, tracing a bowl with tailor's chalk, and I'm gonna use watered down screen printing ink, just like I did with the first shirt. And I actually have a video where I paint this in real time, and this was probably the easiest one. I didn't trace anything or tape anything off or do anything like that. I just painted it. I freehanded it mostly, except for the circle. Now I'm just painting what I think a Dreamcatcher should look like. I looked at some pictures online, and I'm just painting like a very simplified Dreamcatcher. And I found a picture of feather sketches, and I'm using that as inspiration to paint these 3 feathers. And for the feathers, you want to just very lightly with a point of your brush make little lines, you know, just very lightly. And I actually missed the 3rd feather painting because my memory card filled up, and yeah, so I didn't get it. I added some beads and I covered up a little mistake I made on the Dreamcatcher sinew part. Then on this one you also want to iron for 3 to 4 minutes on medium heat for both sides. Now this part's totally optional, but I did add watered down paint. I dropped it all over, then I used a spray bottle with water in it to spread it out. Then I threw it in the dryer on high to set the paint, and it ended up looking kind of like a minty green with watercolory splotches, and I also cut the neck and the sleeves off. Okay, last shirt is geometric gold, which I used the corner of a notebook to kind of just get the point, which you can use anything with a square shape, or if you don't want square you can do a different shape. And then I used painter's tape to get the design there. You can also freehand this or sketch it with a pencil and just lightly paint it. Now I waited about half an hour, 45 minutes for it to dry, which is going to depend for each person, because if you paint it using more paint or less paint, it's going to take longer, so just make sure you wait until it's ready. Now I used paintbrush to touch up the edges, and that is the final shirt. And just a recap of the first 2 shirts, and then I have a few shirts that I did before. I did this one a few years ago, C'est la vie, which means such is life in French. A Hogwarts shirt. Feather. The feather there is pretty much the whole shirt. So thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button there. You can see my social media, which I do update sometimes, I try. And my Pinterest, which has a board of inspiration pictures for graphic t-shirts. And if you want to check out that video of the Dreamcatcher painting in real time, I also have a link there on the left. I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!